Are you and your partner keeping score? You cooked 3 times this week, so they have to take out the trash 3 times this week. You paid for the meal, so they have to pay for the meal next time. The issue is not the 50-50 itself. The issue is the impossibility of a 50-50 even occurring fairly. An unfair 50-50 creates resentment, and it can make love feel like a transaction. A cold, calculated business agreement instead of a loving team. You're constantly walking around with a mental ledger of seeing who has accomplished more for the relationship. And an act of love doesn't feel like an act of love anymore. It feels like a debt that was owed. The 50-50 is a flawed system, that's the thing, and one person will always feel like they're doing more, and one person will always feel like they're being policed and unappreciated. Why is the 50-50 flawed? Because the 50-50 ignores a massive part of a partnership, which is the invisible labor. One person will feel exhausted and resentful, and the other person will feel like no matter how hard they try, they will not be appreciated for their efforts. It's a vicious cycle of misunderstanding and emotional distance. Let me tell you about Sarah and Mark. They were a couple, and just like many of us, they decided to split everything 50-50, like the rent, the groceries, and even the chores. On paper, it was perfect. Mark worked a demanding job and often would get home from work late, so Mark's 50% was taking out the trash and doing the dishes when he's home. But Sarah, who had a much more flexible schedule, got the 50-50 that involved taking on all the invisible labor. Sarah was the one who noticed when the household was out of milk. She planned the meals for the week. She scheduled the doctor's appointment. She did the budgeting. When a child got sick in the middle of the night, it was Sarah who noticed that the child was sick and stayed up with them to take care of them. Mark felt like he was doing his part. He did his share of the chores, but Sarah was exhausted, and she felt like she was not being appreciated. Why was Sarah exhausted? Because her 50% was more than just her tasks. Her 50% involved the constant mental and emotional labor that was not kept on the scoreboard and wasn't accounted for in the 50-50 split. So this fair 50-50 left Sarah with a profound feeling of unfairness. So if 50-50 was their problem, what's the solution? Stop focusing on fairness altogether. What if instead of 50-50, we aimed for 100-100 without keeping score? The goal isn't to split things down the middle. The goal is for both partners to actively give and contribute to the family and the relationship. This mindset is built on radical generosity and dynamic contribution. It understands that some weeks you give 70% instead of 100 because you're overwhelmed or stressed out. That's when the other partner steps up without complaint and gives 130%. The total will always be 200%. And this is about becoming a true team together instead of competitors who fight. Ready to put this into practice? This is one small but powerful action that you can take this week. The next time you feel that surge of resentment, instead of complaining about it, ask yourself this question: how can I support you right now? Or, what can I take off your plate? This single micro action will shift the dynamic instantly. It reframes the moment of conflict into an opportunity for collaboration. It shows that you and them are on the same side. And instead of it's a you owe me this, it's a we're in this together. Try it this week and let me know in the comments below what happens. Let's make this conversation go viral. The 50-50 debate is not about who takes out the trash. The 50-50 debate is a symptom of a much larger conversation of which type of labor is more valuable. There's financial labor, emotional labor, and physical labor. When we move past the scorekeeping and go into a more 100-100 mindset, we're not just building a stronger relationship, we're also creating a model that values all contributions. You've felt resentment. You've felt the endless scorekeeping frustration. But what if you could have a clear, actionable roadmap to transform your competition into a collaboration? My 100-100 Mindset Workbook is your essential toolkit. It's a 3-phase guide that actively moves you from centering the problem to centering the solutions. You'll work through practical exercises to identify framework and then learn more communication tools like the Ask, Don't Assume framework and the Support SWOT to build trust and resilience. You'll even create your own go-to toolkit of phrases to use during moments of conflict or stress, ensuring that you always default to collaboration and not defensiveness. This isn't just a book. It's a series of tangible steps to help you and your partner build a partnership that feels truly connected and full of joy. Stop just talking about a better relationship and build one today. So let's move past the myth of 50-50. The next time you feel that surge of resentment, stop and ask, are we focused on keeping score or are we focused on our shared vision? And then take one small action to support your teammate. That's how we build partnerships that are truly equal, not just mathematically so. Don't forget to get the workbook using the link below. What's one small thing you can do for your partner today using the 100-100 mindset? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more relationship transforming insights. Thank you. Bye-bye.